welcome to Mono Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and barricading the inside of an outward opening door is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
I do have problems with doors.
In fact, that's where we've been. You barricaded the inside of an outward opening door and we just couldn't get out. Like, we haven't been able to record podcasts. That's why, honestly. I know I put up a little message lying the other day saying it was work and, like, you know, just life getting in the way. But fairness, actually you boarded us in.
The amount of door handles that fall off in our house, because our house is like 200 years old, and just on any random occasion a doorknob may come off in your hand.
Yeah, but
being locked in rooms in this house is incredibly plausible.
But it's irrelevant when you barricaded the inside of an outward opening door and locked us in the room.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't record a podcast. But we finally got out.
Yeah. Skill for the gifted. That's me.
We're finally back to record or to cover a thing from another world. Sorry. It wasn't intentional. Shit just got in the way.
Yeah, Christmas, like, fucking
Christmas,
chaos.
New jobs, cars sliding off roads. Like.
Yeah, fabulous parking job. I'm still very proud of that. It only caused 20 euros worth of damage?
If that.
Yeah. It's the best one I've ever come out of.
But yeah, so we'll try and starting today with this episode, get back on a more regular track. So
things aren't insane because of Christmas hours. The joys of being anywhere near customer retail, anything like that. Yeah, everybody knows it's the struggle bus.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I just like as well how we were like, let's do 3. Well, this Island Earth's not crappy, but like 3 cheesy sci-fis, and then just take a big break before we do the actually really fucking good one.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I've never read the novella, but I really need to get it.
From what I gather, the
John Carpenter
one
is closer to the novel.
In certain aspects.
The monster
and how everything, a lot of around them, everything comes from kind of when the monster comes out.
Yeah.
But a lot of what happens early on in the film, about like the termite and all that kind of stuff, and is very much from the novella.
I just love thermite. It'll melt it.
But
it's such a wonderful tagline for thermite, because what does thermite do? It'll melt it. Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had forgotten when I sat down to watch this. I knew this was the better one of the ones we had picked. Like, you know what I mean? It was the more like sci-fi. But fuck me, I had forgotten how good it is.
I had forgotten how much quippy dialogue there is and the back and forth, and
I love it.
It does have a huge cast, which is kind of annoying.
Yes.
But like there's one doctor who's uncredited in it. I did find they are now on IMDb. When you go in, you can find them. And it's like, sensible doctor.
Oh, Lurch.
Yeah.
We called him Lurch until we realised.
He looks like Carol Thingy-Mabobs.
He's called Dr. Chapman, but I kept thinking I was wrong because there's a character who gets introduced early on who you never see again called Mrs. Chapman, who I'm guessing is his wife?
No, you do see her when they're all huddled in the generator room.
Well, she's
the only other lady.
She doesn't have another line of dialogue again.
Yeah, you do see her later on huddled in the generator room, and I was like, who the fuck is she?
He's Dr. Chapman, but I'll probably just continue to refer to him as Lurch because he's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
And he's also a sensible dude.
Yeah. He speaks the truth.
He does.
Because the other one speaks the bullshit.
Dr. Carrington does speak the bullshit.
Dr. Carrington's an evil-looking motherfucker.
Oh, well, that was purely intentional.
I know.
But before we talk about why he's an evil-looking motherfucker, will we do a quick summary?
Quick summary!
When an Arctic science station sends a message about a strange plane crash, the Air Force sends a captain and his crew, along with a journalist, to investigate. But when the plane turns out to be a UFO with a frozen occupant, tensions quickly rise between the military, scientists, and the free press over what should be done. But when the alien thaws out, it quickly becomes clear that survival will only be possible if they all work together.
Budget of $40,000.
Fuck off.
Yep, that would be equivalent to $370,000 in 2015, adjusted for inflation.
Still fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I mean, I think that would have just covered the plane by itself.
Like, yeah, well, they get their money out of that plane. But, like, I mean...
And the dogs.
I
just love everybody in the plane with the dogs all just, like, strapped in, sitting on each other.
Ultimately, it's just...
that was...
10-15 minutes of the alien on screen.
Yeah.
Well, probably less.
Yeah, like 1951, like that is like $50,000 or $40,000 in 1951 is like, even though they've adjusted and included inflation, like it's still...
That they gotta... I mean, like I know it is just a few scenes of the alien.
Mm.
But they have
big ass explosion.
They have a big ass explosion. They have a plane.
They had to rent a freezer unit.
That was on a lot, I think.
Yeah, but they had to rent lot time.
They had to get
that fucking kerosene,
entirely asbestos fire suit for that bird.
Motherfucker. They couldn't get insurance for it as well because they were like, you want to blow up a plane, you want to set a dude on fire,
they don't blow up a plane. They blow up ice.
Yeah, you want to get a dude to get attacked by dogs. You want something to get electrocuted.
Well, it was
kind of like Bruce the Shark. It was like, fucking, you want to do all this shit?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was. They couldn't get insurance for the monster
itself,
costume and prosthetic itself because of all the things they wanted to do with it, as opposed to the film. But yeah, I'm really surprised because they did. Like, I know, yeah, it's just people, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. They did reach out to the US Air Force as well to be like, hey, do you want to help us make this film? And unlike today, when they would have been like all over it because plausible deniability. Well, even at this point, the Air Force...
The thing is, especially considering how good they make the military look in this.
Because, they're sensible and they're taking charge.
Because Dr. Carrington is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's... And it is supposed to play on... Not something I would have picked up on because I never lived through it. But it's supposed to play on the kind of post-World War II fears of
the suspicion
the
of
atomic
the
age and the suspicion of scientists
taking
things
too far. Yeah, because he looks vaguely the way he's styled, especially with his little fur hat. He looks like a czar. Like, he looks like a slightly Russian... The beard and the pointy...
Well, I think it's partly that red atomic fear. I don't think they're trying to make out that he is Russian.
No, but they do very subtly give him that
War association of Russian
especially
atomic
the
energy.
little mustache with the pointy beard. The fur hat really didn't help with it, and the long coat.
But yeah, it is. It's supposed to be this idea of so scientists taking it too far.
Yeah.
And you really clearly see that in Dr. Carrington, whereas
they were thinking
Captain
about
Pat,
everything they could do and not if they should do it, or whatever the Jurassic Park quote is that I just butchered.
Yeah, well... But yeah, no, they make Pat look so good. Like, and he's a sensible captain the whole way through it.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. Well, maybe the military weren't shown the whole thing, but...
Well, they're trying to like get through to the radio guy, Tex, because I was like, why does the dude look like a cowboy in the middle of the Arctic? Oh, his name's Tex. Makes sense. But he's like saying like they can't get anything through on the radios from where they are because there's like a big blizzard coming in. Yeah,
so it's all down to the captain to make the decisions.
Yeah.
And by and large, with the exception of Lurch, he's the one making all the sensible calls and sensible
but
decisions.
He does take on his... when he makes a suggestion or has, and he's listening to the other scientists that are there.
Yeah.
Like the guy who's like, oh, well, electrics, that's what we do. We do it like this. And he's like, cool, you and you, because you're like... He sends off appropriate members of his team because he knows all their strengths.
Yeah, he's not afraid to use their expertise.
Go and do that and listen to them as well. Like when they find it and they bring it back and they're guarding it. And
Corporal Barnes
comes into him and is like, dude, we're getting freaked out. Yeah. And he's immediately like, right, half the time allowed it.
The military
he pays attention to a lot of them. And he's not afraid to look a bit of a fool when he has the confrontation with Nikki about their miscommunication about the wonderful, glorious night where she apparently ghosted him, but he got shit-faced.
He just got so shit-faced he doesn't remember.
And she spends a lot of it teasing him, and he takes that in like real good nature as well.
Well, and his
and he keeps his
co-pilot and his navigator.
Scotty,
his co-pilot and his navigator. The whole film starts with them playing poker.
Yeah.
And Scotty comes in, and the back and forth between them, like winding up the captain over this, that like the only reason that he hangs around here and not in some nicer place is because he wants to go and see your one up in the Arctic Circle, and he's like, stay in line, guys, come on, like I'm still your captain, you can't be saying this shit. He's really charming, and all the decisions he makes are the right ones. So the military come out in the wash really good.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they didn't want to, but I feel like they got their own back because of that bit when they're flying back with when they're flying back with the alien in the ice.
Yeah.
And I think is it Barnes again is reading from the
bulletin,
military bulletin
about why they don't accept any more UFO sightings because
they're not investigating it anymore.
And it's like, and thirdly it's because they're silly. And I was like, that is a pure Graham Chapman. Stop it. It's
stop that. That's silly.
Silly. I was like, oh my god!
But I like that they put in that little bit of the military says UFOs don't exist. Here we are carrying an alien in the back.
Once again, I love any long shots of the back of that plane with everything shoved in there, and like there's just dogs, and then the big hunk of ice, also, and like guys sitting on it, and like how many people are in that plane, and then they're all just wandering around on the ice in like trench coats.
That flight has my favorite gag in the entire film because there's a good few gags in this.
Yeah.
But after Barnes reads out the whole thing about UFOs, and I can't remember his name, but he's the co-pilot.
What's the name?
He goes, "What article was that?" And he's like 676-191-849B. Oh yeah, that one. And then just silence, and they just pissed themselves laughing. But I think the dialogue is The dialogue is definitely one of the stronger points of this film. Like, the back and forth, particularly with all the military lads, is really well written.
There's nobody's ever really dismissed either when they're given ideas.
Well, Carrington gets dismissive, but we're not supposed to like and that's when he's at his proper.
Yeah, and like even at that,
I'm super stressed.
Yeah,
stage.
and even at that stage, they're still kind of defending him.
Yeah, because even when he's literally growing more of the aliens,
using all of the blood supply that they have, just in case.
A lot of the rest of the scientists are, well, certainly the ones he calls anyway, and this is after he's gotten 3 people killed.
Yeah,
or 2 killed and 1 injured. He's growing more aliens, and the other guys are still like, I mean, should we be doing this? And he's like, yes, we need to learn about them. And they're like, oh, I suppose we do need to learn about them. And you are the smartest among us. Like, you've won a Nobel Prize. Like, so yeah, and you see that, like, there is that
the obsession.
Well, there's the obsession from him, but the kind of the loyalty and
the deference of the others.
Yeah,
of like he's the smartest one. So.
But it only goes so far, and you see that line kind of get drawn for various different scientists along the way. Like, it probably gets drawn for Lurch first because he's the one who's like, we shouldn't, like, Captain's right, we shouldn't thaw it out. What about if it has
like virulent bacteria?
One guy says the cold might destroy, valuable viruses or something that we might, learn from, and then Lurch is like, yeah, those same viruses could kill us. Yeah. So maybe let's keep it in the ice. And like, any other number of things that could go wrong with it. Plus, we don't know what'll happen to his flesh when it's exposed to our environment.
Yeah,
so
we don't know where it's from.
Let's just keep it preserved.
Yeah, and then an idiot puts a fucking electric blanket
so, like, that's where, like, Lurch's line is. Some of the other scientists then kind of move over to Pat's side after the others get killed because Carrington doesn't tell anybody that they've found the thing.
Yeah.
Some others draw the line there when he's, like, growing alien babies because that's where Nikki gives the notes to Pat.
Yeah.
And you see, along the way, each of them are like, nah, the doctor has taken it too far. To the point at the end where he's literally the only one ready to run straight up to the alien and be like, let us be your friends, please.
I can help you. And everyone's like, this isn't going to end well.
And it doesn't. He gets hammered across the room.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
But I do like I think when the first time I watched this, I was just like, oh, it's The Thing. It's the movie that The Thing is based on, and I love John Carpenter's Thing. I just think it's a triumph of fucking special effects and practical effects and prosthetic work. And
it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, particularly casting the doctor. He was a double amputee.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets the arms ripped off. Also, Wilfred Brimley being crazy in a shed.
Yes.
Damn weirdness.
You've got a radio operator, but instead of rolling his own cigarettes, he smokes weed.
Yeah. But, like, I love that movie and the isolation of it and then just the horror aspect of it. I think the first time I ever watched this, the first bit that made me unbelievably happy is the opening. The burn of the title card.
Oh, yeah.
And I just went, John Carpenter just did the exact same thing!
Well, that was John Carpenter's whole thing was like, it's just, I love this movie and I love the book and I love the movie so much I'm going to use the exact same title card.
They couldn't do the shape-shifting monster because they didn't have it in the budget for this. So they did take it in, again, a very otherworldly direction. Like, it's not shape-shifting, but it like grows like a plant and it needs to feed and it needs these conditions. It seems to be like, it's not a carbon based. Or like not a traditional. It's an alien. No, this seems to be like a plant. Like
that was kind of the next evolution of this, I think. So we are meat based animals.
Yeah.
And this is a vegetable or plant matter based being as well.
But like needs our
higher. But like it's a higher intelligence. It's that has come from plants, and we are a higher intelligence that has come from meat based animals.
Yeah.
The kind of next sci-fi upgrade of that, you hinted at a second ago, is you might see it in later sci-fis where we're carbon based.
Oh, evolution! They're silicone based.
Exactly. That's the
head and shoulders.
That's the updated version of this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like when you look at War of the Worlds and everyone goes, "Oh, it's bacteria." Blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, but when that book was written, bacterial and knowledge like that was like really.
It was new, yeah.
And we didn't know exactly what it could do yet. So I'm fucking down for plants taking over the world. We ended up with like Day of the Triffids and shit like that.
My only thing is that they keep referring to it. Carrington keeps referring to it as like a vegetable, as opposed to a plant. Like he's a vegetable man, as opposed to a plant man. And I'm like, no, because vegetables are like
a root.
Well, their vegetables are a specific type of plant. Aside from the fact that the definition of vegetable is kind of loose anyway, because it's basically any part of a plant that we eat that isn't a fruit.
And again, the great tomato debate.
But that's kind of the definition of a vegetable. Because
it's kind of like the definition of a fish. It's very vague.
You can't just say any kind of a plant that we eat, because that includes fruits as well.
Yeah, he's a plant.
So he's a plant man. So to call him a vegetable man implies
he's swamp thing.
To call him a vegetable man implies that we can eat him.
Well, he's trying to eat us.
But I just think, like, it's a really cool idea that he's
I do like that when they're talking about him being the vegetable man, and it's all the guys discussing it, and Nikki's going around with coffee, and I love how she gets into the room with the pot of coffee.
No, but you can come in. That's the only reason I brought the
coffee. Yeah. Yep, smart woman. She's just kind of listening in. They're not really paying attention to her. She goes around and tops up the cups, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do with the?" And she makes a quip about you boil vegetables.
They're like,
boil it, roast it, fry it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Can we just set it on fire?" And she's like, "Sure, you could just do that."
Well, and then she's the one who cops the cold as well, because Ned thinks he's getting insulted for having bad breath. She's like, "No, you ninnies, look,
it's cold."
But back to the like vegetable man thing.
Yeah.
One of the bits that I do really like about it is when they're talking about just how different that makes him from us.
Yeah.
Like,
cold.
Now Carrington does make some leaps, because he's like, just think about it, he's not driven by any emotion or any sexual needs. And I'm like, well, the sexual needs is a fair assumption to make, because plants don't reproduce that way.
Yeah.
But how do you know he didn't have emotions? Like, it's fair to say that when we first started to evolve as like little amoebas, and like they say it, like, who would have thought that like flatworms and lizards would have become us?
Yeah. Maybe not the lizards.
But
Planaria.
Would he say that flatworms had emotions?
Yeah.
Because if flatworms don't have emotions, then we do. We came from, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For him to say that this guy doesn't have any emotions is a bit of a leap. But again, I like that they're trying to say, it's a completely different thing we can't comprehend. We can't use human comprehension and human reasoning to try and be like, oh, he's going to be like us.
There's a plant, and I can't remember what it's called, and it's a really, like, common house plant that a lot of people keep, and it's super dramatic. It's actually, like, when it needs to be watered, it all just goes, oh, fuck it, and collapses.
Yeah.
Until it gets watered, and then it pops itself back upright again. But people refer to it as being a drama queen plant, because it's like, please water me, I'm dying, oh my god. Like, it's the pot noodle. I'm wasting away.
One of the scientists, well, he's a botanist, talks about the telegraph vine and like Venus flytraps and things like that. Just like some of the weirder things in the plant world, like plants that eat animals. And plants that can communicate, and plant communication is even greater understood now than it was in the
just fungi, because we don't know what they are. He could have been a fungi guy.
Well, no, he's not, because that's a different thing. They're not.
If they knew what they knew now, he would be a mushroom.
But would he?
Like, they've already done the whole crossing over to ants and controlling them shit.
Oh, if they made it now, they'd make him a mushroom.
It would be
person.
Last of Us.
Yeah. No, I'm cool with him being like plant man. I'm not going to call him a vegetable man.
Plant man. He sounds like a really shit superhero.
He sounds like the host of English film fact-based podcast. No, that's Planty, sorry. I do. I like that they tried to do something different with it. But I'm like, make him a plant person and not a vegetable person.
Yeah. I do enjoy his great escape once he thaws out and he goes out through the window and they hear all the dogs going for him.
That's my favourite bit, when you just see him swinging the dog through the air and falling over.
Yeah. They're like, nobody will notice.
Unintentional hilarity.
Yeah, you could just see the legs going while he fucking buckles himself.
It's so funny. Well, that's directly preceding the whole plant man conversation, because he gets an arm torn off by the
and
dogs.
they get to study the arm, and that's how Thingy gets the seeds from the hand.
Yeah.
To, like, start his little fucked up experiment.
I like the kind of the little small clever bits in it, particularly say from like when Pat realizes that the plasma's gone.
Yeah.
He's like, there's two injured people in there getting blood transfusions. Yeah,
they're like...
I brought up plasma last time I was here. Where's it all gone?
Like, there's two guys have been strung up and bled like stuck pigs. Like, that's literally like they've been hung by their feet.
Yeah.
To feed his little, like...
Yeah, because they found
the
thing
dog
is doing the same. Basically doing what the professor's doing, and is trying to make more of himself.
Yeah, and that's the crux of the argument between Lurch and the professor when they find out what he's been doing, and he's like thousands of them. You're doing the same thing he's doing.
Yeah.
like, you're just fucking helping him. Like, what's wrong with you?
Lurch is actually also great just in the moment. Apart from having, like, you know, very
when he throws the water at him and he's like straight there to catch him while he swims.
Is it Barnes or whichever one is in the room
he
when
could
the
carry
thing
me
awakes?
out of a burning building any day of the week.
And he runs into the room and he's all panicked and like completely hysterical and is pointing the gun at everybody. Just holding the gun directly. Yeah, Pat just takes it off him like.
We're all right there, so.
Yeah, Lurch just picks up the water, throws it in his face, and is there immediately to catch him before he falls. And it was like, good man, Lurch. Like, you're
my hero.
You're good at this. He's a good man to have in a crisis.
Yeah, and then they work out that it's actually smart because it knocks off the heat, and they're like, what's next? The power?
Well, they figure that he's going to go for the power next, and that's when they're like, shit, power is part of our plan, so let's all fall back to the generator.
Yeah, because that's like, he has
Except for Tex.
Tex is like, nah, I'm good. I've barricaded the door. I'm fine.
That's what Tex says. They're like, Tex, you know, it's getting pretty hairy out here or whatever. You might want to come. We're all going to rejoin in like the canteen or whatever. You might want to come and join us. And he's like, no, I'm fine here. I've got the door like barricaded pretty well.
I'm going to keep trying.
I'm going to keep trying on the radio. Like, so fair fucks to him.
Yeah.
And he lives anyway.
Yeah.
We don't hear from him again until the end when they're back in the radio room.
Yeah.
There is, that's probably my only other big negative for this film, apart from the vegetable versus plant thing, is there is a lot of characters.
There's way too many people, but it's kind of hilarious because there's just this posse that follows them around everywhere.
So you've got the...
Like, I understand they're going up to a base and they bring a rescue team with them.
Well, it's not...
With dogs, because they're done...
Yeah, so when they go up...
So there's the three of them.
His navigator, his co-pilot, and Scotty, and the dogs on the plane. That's it that goes up.
No, there is a team in the back with the dogs, I think.
There might be one or two. There's one or two
There's
more.
a couple of them, like, sleeping, like...
Then they get there and there's Corporal Barnes is like, I think he's the attaché who's there all the time.
Yeah, because, you know, polar bears and shit.
Then you've got Carrington and Nikki, and then there's the botanist guy.
There's the
Lurch.
electrician.
There's the guy who suggests the electricity. There's the two doctors who get strung up.
There's the wife.
There's Chapman.
And his missus.
Oh yeah, so that's Mrs. Chapman. I already said Lurch. And then there's like another maybe 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
They mention some Eskimos, but they say that they buggered off as soon as they saw the guy in the ice.
They were like, nope, see ya, bye-bye.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to keep track of who's who, especially because so many of them are just white dudes with either blonde or like dark hair. And it's a black and white film, so it's like, you're not Pat. And you're not Dr. Carrington, and you're not Lurch.
They're all like 1950s handsome too. They all have, like, most of the military guys all have that, like, all-American, like, clean cut, not atypical 1950s haircut.
Yeah. In
very similar uniforms, so it's like, you have no distinguishing features.
Yeah, so I'm like, I know...
Unless you get a name or you do something, like, ridiculous, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah, it's just, it's a lot of characters that don't have a lot of defining features. Yeah. So it could make it a bit hard to follow. But once you know who Pat and Carrington and Nikki are...
And Scotty, because Scotty's the reporter.
Well, yeah,
always Scotty, like, what about my story?
Scotty's the one who's easy to... You know what I mean? Because
it is fucking...
He's taller. He's taller than the rest of them, and he's the only balding one. And he's always bitching about not getting to send his story. So which guy's the news reporter? Oh yeah, that guy bitching right there.
And the one that they all keep ripping into because they're like, "Did you get a photo of it that time?" And he's like, "No, I fell over. Probably got a photo of my feet."
Yeah. Or when he bursts in through the door.
Did you get a photo of him on fire? Nope, fell over the desk.
That's when he fell over. It was like, when he burst through the door and he's like, Pat's like, did you get a photo of him, Scotty? He's like, no, you were too quick closing the door. Want me to open it back up? No, you're all right. Scotty's had an interesting career, though. Because he was at that execution. He mentions...
Jude...
it was like Ruth something. I can't remember. But
it was about Tom Howard, the photographer.
Yeah, he says he was at some execution and they're like, did you get a photo? Ruth Snyder, and he says no, the press weren't allowed cameras but one guy, and there was a Chicago photographer who managed to sneak in like an ankle camera.
Yeah, his name was Tom Howard. He's actually Jason Sudeikis' great-grandfather.
Oh, right.
And he had it on his ankle. He managed to get a photo at the moment where they had...
Of electrocution,
electrocution. So she's like convulsing, and it was the first photo of any other
of it in use, like.
Yeah, well, it was in Sing Sing as well, which,
so Scotty was at
Constantine.
Scotty was at that.
He
was also, he mentions when Pat's like, you don't have to be here if you don't want, Scotty.
He mentions being like,
he's like, action. I was at, I can't remember now, but he mentions like 3 or 4 really big, important battles in World War II. He's like, I think he says he was at El Alamein was one of them.
Yeah.
But, he's like, I shouldn't have been at X, Y, or Z either, but I was there, so.
Yeah.
So he's had an interesting career and made no less interesting by the current events going on around him, like, even though he can't report them.
No, he's not allowed to. And, like, in fairness to the captain, he
keeps trying.
He does ask, because all I can do is ask for you. And, like, he does ask, like, when they find out that they're being called in. I'm sorry, at the very start, I just remember this, when they keep getting called into the general's office.
Close the door!
Have a fucking...
get a fucking porch!
Yeah, dude, it's like, you're in Anchorage. Why don't you have an entryway where people can, like, get out of all their cold shit? Because every time the door opens, all the shit blows off his
Particularly if
desk.
you're the second guy, because Pat walks in and the general's like, close the door. Like, just like, it's fucking
but then, like,
close
what
the
if
door.
his
But the second
attaché
guy
comes in? Yeah.
And the general's really pissed off and is like, close that door. And if I was that second guy coming in, I'd be like, what the fuck did I do? How was I supposed to come in if I don't open the door?
Yeah. And then when Pat's leaving, he's like, don't worry, I'll close the door. What the fuck? Like, I completely forgot about that. I was like, that bloody pissing general.
As soon as kind of Pat realises, okay, we've got a UFO and an alien, I can't just let Scotty send the story back willy-nilly. So he's like, look, I can't let you send a story, Scotty. I have to tell the general first. He does kind of like just steamroller over him in that first conversation because he keeps giving other people orders around him. And then eventually he's like, look, I'll ask the general.
Yeah.
And Scotty's kind of pissed off at him. But then Scotty stays that level of pissed off. But every subsequent time they either get a message from or send a message back to Anchorage, Pat always asks, well, any word for Scotty?
Yeah.
And then when you're sending a message back, reiterate the request to pet Scotty, will you?
Yeah. And then Scotty does get his moment at the end.
He does.
And it's a really nice tie-up to the film.
Yeah.
Of him having his, like, victory, like, delivery of it.
Well, yeah, because he has had breaking the story stolen on because at one of the messages they get back from Anchorage, the general's going mad because it has leaked. And he's like, like water through a sieve, I knew this would happen.
You and you.
Yeah, that's when he gets really mad.
That's
why, it's justified. But then, at the end, he's like, okay, I might not have broken the story, but I'm the one who was here. I get to report on it. And he has his like very iconic speech.
Yeah.
Like, you might not have heard it before, but you've definitely heard the last line.
Yeah.
Because he finishes it with, keep watching the skies. Skies. But yeah, like that's a phrase that, like, just if you have watched any sort of UFO related TV or film or like just pop culture media in general, you've probably heard the phrase keep watching the skies. Like, and I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking, like, this film is iconic enough as it is. I forgot that line was in there.
Yeah. No, and like the stunts and everything in this, I know I was talking about John Carpenter's The Thing, but this kind of set the bar in how far they can push a stuntman.
Well, apart from it being the longest, at the time, the longest on-screen burn ever done.
And fuck me, is that a burn? They throw 2 buckets of kerosene on him.
Apart from the fact that he was in an asbestos suit.
With 100% oxygen supplied. He was also on fire for over a minute.
All of that aside, when you watch the film, it's not like, normally when somebody gets set on fire, it's like somebody gets doused in petrol and then they drop a match.
No, they throw
they're literally throwing buckets of fucking kerosene at an already on fire person.
And parts
while
of the
there's like
set
6 or 7 of them in the room. Yeah, and bits of the room are on fire.
And he goes out through a ramp, out a window, and runs off the distance, still on fire. As he's starting to go out, they
particularly
throw
when they fuck that other bucket on him.
Jesus Christ.
Like, the guy who throws the bucket
is a legend. I've completely forgotten his name.
He's a legend. The guy who throws the bucket is a legend. Like,
yeah,
I'm hoping he must have been covered in like fire retardant gel when he did that, but like he probably wasn't.
Because she's just behind a fucking mattress and that catches on fire.
He swipes at the mattress. He swipes at the mattress while on fire.
No wonder they couldn't get insurance.
Oh, I think
you wanted to. What?
Yeah, trying to do it nowadays, I'd say would be you just wouldn't.
Well, House of Wax famously burnt down the set trying to. They had like a fire stunt go wrong, and part of the set caught fire.
I wonder, actually, thinking about it now, I wonder did they do that because that is in the room where they have the conversation about the cold breath.
Yeah.
Later on or earlier on.
Because they couldn't use that lot anymore.
No, I wonder did they actually film that in the refrigerated unit, because
it'd be contained.
It'd be just that bit easier to contain because it's fire in a much colder environment.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They still whatever they did, it doesn't strike me as them having taken enough safety precautions. Because it's insane to watch. It really is.
It's crazy. It's absolutely mental. It's one of my all-time favorite burn scenes. Like, it's just so dangerous.
And I know Planty already got to mention, but Planty loves a man on fire. Planty will love this man on fire.
This is the ultimate man on fire. It really is. Because you're just watching it going, this was a one-shot job.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, we're not going to get this guy to do it again. Like,
No. We don't even know if he might survive this. Like, honestly.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
It's insane. And he runs off and then comes back for more. So setting him on fire didn't work. So that's when they decide that they're going to try and electrocute him.
Well, I don't think they actually electrocuted the stuff.
No.
Fairly sure those arcs of electricity are fake.
Yeah.
But they definitely set him on fire.
They really did set that man on fire.
Don't think they set dogs on him, though.
No.
There were actual dogs in that scene, but the one that he's flinging through the air is not a real dog.
No, that is not a real dog at all.
But yeah, now that is a burn.
It's ridiculous. And it's like, when you watch really old movies, like say the likes of Ben-Hur, the chariot flipping scene, very famous scene, you're like, how did people not die?
Although considering they spend most of this film running towards the higher end of the Geiger counter.
Yeah, they're like, because they work out that they can use the guy. They
can use the Geiger counter to track him. And the higher the Geiger counter goes, the nearer he is.
Oh, that's it. But hunker down. Get your genitals closer to the radiation source.
Always say,
put your face in it.
They always say it's topping out when he gets near them. And I'm like, if a Geiger counter is topping out, that is not a liquid. You do not run towards it. That is not a source of interest. It is a source of fucking danger. But
cellular degeneration.
I don't mind it so much when they're actually using it to track him, but when they first fly over the aircraft, where they're in a plane and they can see the thing on the ground.
Because you can see
one of them says as they go directly above it that the Geiger counter is topping out. Now, okay, I'm not saying that the alien is emitting the same level of radiation as the whole UFO. What I'm saying is, if the Geiger counter is topping out when they're in a plane and they land and then walk to the source of the radiation, they are melted. They don't need no thermite. They are melted.
Yeah, by the end of that movie, they should have been like just falling apart, hair falling out.
So again, I kind of like.
Because the Expanse does that really well when they get the massive dose of radiation trying to get off Eros. And by the time they make it back to the ship, they are literally like disintegrating. They're like, massive cellular degeneration.
They have magical, medical, marvelous machines that are just about able to keep them alive.
But they're completely sterile now and will need this medication for the rest of their life.
We understand radiation a bit better now. I'd say that was just a case of, like, we'll try and throw in this little sci-fi tidbit, not quite realising that it would kill them.
Everybody there did.
Like, I do. I like using the Geiger counter to track them. It's just the scale on which they use it is a little bit severe. But it is mostly little complaints that I have like that. Like plant versus vegetable. Geiger counter being too high. The number of characters is a bit more of a serious complaint. And then my only other kind of complaint I would say is,
that's one thing I appreciate about John Carpenter's it's the smaller group.
There's still a fair few in it, but you know who they all are.
But they've trimmed the fat off.
And and when they die, you know who it is who died, as opposed to, there's two less characters to try and remember who's who now. And my only other complaint then would be kind of related to one of the things that I like, which is the back and forth in the dialogue. Sometimes there's a fair bit of overlapping dialogue, and it works. Other times, it actually is hard to discern what the important information being said is.
Yeah.
It's not that often. Most of the time, it's fairly obvious. Like, there'll be overlapping dialogue as people are arguing, and then somebody else will burst in with relevant dialogue that you can hear clearly. But the odd time, it can be a little bit hard to follow. But, again, that's a really small complaint.
And it adds to the chaos of it as well.
By and large, I like the overlapping dialogue. It's just once or twice, it does get a little bit on the messy side. Other than that, I have no complaints about this movie.
It's a great sci-fi film. It really is.
The romantic side plot is definitely better than
last week's.
Not last week's.
Let me kiss you. Let me kiss you
while you're asleep
with tongue. Blah.
He's like, hey, do you want to tie me up?
Yeah, he was like, what do I have to do? And like her ripping into him and being like, oh, you were all handsy. And he was like, how would you know? You don't even remember.
Yeah, were you really putting all those drinks back? You didn't throw any of them away? Yeah.
Damn.
That's when, I think that's the turn for him. That's when he realizes, oh, I might be in the wrong here. I might have just been so pissed I can't remember. And she was like perfectly sober.
Yeah. No, I like that because it's not like he's not like, oh, we can't let you go because you're a woman. He's like, no, go back there because you're kind of reasonable and you'll keep the rest of them in check.
Yeah. Well, he's like, you're one of the ones along with Lurch who I know is like on our side. Yeah. And she gives him the information.
Yeah, and then she does come back later when Thingy knocks off the generator. She's the one who runs out and he's like,
oh yeah,
he's switched off the generator.
He's got a gun.
Yeah, he's got a gun.
For like 2 seconds.
And with the flashlight, and he's just in the flashlight beam with the gun, and he's very like, hello, Mr. Bond. We've been expecting you.
Then, of course, because he's blinded by the torch, they immediately get the gun
off him. Yeah. That's well laid plan.
I love the little, it's one of Pat's co-pilots when just before they're trying to electrocute him, and he's very slowly walking down the corridor towards them. They're like, he needs to be on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
So your man just slides an axe at him. It just fucks an axe on the ground and slides it around so that the alien jumps onto the board.
Yeah.
Something about it just cracks me up. Like, it's just the way the alien just like skips over to the side.
Just like,
the alien himself looks a bit cheesy.
He does.
But
I don't really care.
No, you don't.
You never see him close up. It's always fire shots of it.
It's always fire and obscured shots, so it works really well. It's not.
Or like the only time you kind of see him up close, he's entirely on fire.
And
that is literally the only close-ups of him. He is on fire.
That still counts as obscuring him. You're not obscuring him with shadow or light. You're obscuring him with fire. But I'd say there's plenty of Hollywood monsters that would look shit if you just put them in full light, like, and
there's
even
plenty
good
of
ones.
Modern Hollywood. There's plenty of ones that they've ruined lately. I'm very bitter about remakes of certain movies at the moment.
Yes, but like there'd be plenty of monsters that would look crap in good light, and so I don't think it detracts from it. It's like it was 1951.
Yeah,
like you're only going to get so good of a model, and apparently they did take their time. Like they went through various iterations.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think they did. Again, it's passable. You know what I mean? It's not the scariest thing in the world.
You just kind of go like, yeah, that's teenagers from outer space. The best thing about that for me is the monster because
but that is
hilarious.
Laughable. That is hilarious.
You got a very important piece of context about that.
Although I did get a very important. Yeah, that's a good point. Pat Vale pointed out that in the 50s in America, not a lot of people who lived inland would have actually seen lobsters.
Yeah,
because they heard that lobsters are things that people...
refrigeration wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, so they'd know that lobsters were things that people ate in like Maine or whatever, but they wouldn't have actually seen a lobster. So I was like, that's kind of cool, but it also kind of ruins it for me. Thanks, Pat. So yeah, like, it doesn't fall into that like, so bad. No, it's funny.
But I appreciate the fact that like you're like, what would a plant man look like? Yeah, he kind of looked frilly or swampy.
I like the arm. He's supposed
to be vaguely human-y, but like, yeah, it works. He's not really got like, he's got kind of a top bit and a bottom bit and some limmy bits, but like...
Well, and at least he's not just wearing normal pants. Also, like last week...
Or duct tape. Duct tape over socks.
Yeah.
Like, I do. It doesn't bother me at all because he's kind of not important. What he looks like kind of isn't important. Like, he comes in and he does these things.
It's the threat he represents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the scariness of
and
the
force. And the fact that they're finding out that he is smarter, he is intelligent, he's just gotten there and he's already trying to, like, fucking take over.
Yeah, and he knows, rightly enough, that they need heat to survive.
Yeah.
And he has no problem just treating them as a food source.
Yeah, that's all he sees them as, their cow.
So, it's not, he doesn't, and because he
and they've all conveniently congregated in one location.
Like with any good horror film as well.
Yeah.
The less you see the monster and the more it's in your head, the scarier it is, and they use that here.
And they just like when they first go into the greenhouse and they come across the dog in the compost bin.
That's
and they're like, oh shit, he got in.
And it's a good jump scare as well.
Like he got in and he did this without us knowing.
Apparently, when asked what films scared him the most, Roger Ebert said this really put the willies up him as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm guessing as a kid or young adult. So yeah, the context, like when people, I'm sure at the time, if people hadn't seen it, it was terrifying.
Oh yeah, my dad to this day will tell you that The Devil Rides Out is one of the scariest movies he's ever seen in his life.
So watching it now, I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's not like laughably bad. It's just we're used to a different kind of horror. But like, as for a sci-fi film, fuck, it's still damn top notch.
But even that, like the first time the pair of us saw The Incredible Shrinking Man, we were watching with a friend of ours who had seen it before.
Yeah.
And he thought our reactions to some of it was hilarious because we were so drawn into it and being like, oh my God.
That's going to be another example of
this
old
movie
but
does
good.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's old and bits of it look kind of janky, but the whole story
it's not
and
dated.
The concept of it, it's still something that draws us in because there was the thing from 2011.
Yeah.
Which is, I have seen it, but no. Which I do love, led to a Spike movie that I really want to watch. It's called Harbinger Dame, from the special effects guy who did John Carpenter's
thing. Yeah, I don't think...
Just to prove that you can still use practical effects and stuff like that, because the 2011 one, it was all CGI.
Yeah.
And he really didn't like that because he was like, my magnus opus. It is. That chest scene when he goes in with the paddles in the John Carpenter's one, it is iconic.
For films of just amazing and classic prosthetics and those sort of in-camera effects, the thing's always going to be up there.
Yeah.
This, I think, has a place for different reasons. It's for inspiring that, but also it was a really massively influential early sci-fi film.
You can see a lot of different movies, and even when we're talking about you can there's bits in Spawn, or not in Spawn, in Species.
Yeah.
Where, she wants to mate and breed. Yeah, this is exactly what this thing is. It's not trying to mate, but it is trying to
it's trying to propagate. Yeah.
And that inherent animalistic drive of get in, populate, take over the world, food source.
I would say anyway.
It would have done it already. Had it crashed somewhere like Florida.
This for me would easily be the best of the four that we've done so far. I've loved all of them, but this is easily the best. And it's the earliest.
Yeah.
This was 51 and the others were 55, 6 and 9, I think.
Yeah. And it kind of feels bad describing it as a B movie because it's
not. I don't
it does
think
have
I've used the term B movie for this at all, and I wouldn't.
It does have the wit and it does have humour and it does have a couple of it doesn't have that many sexist. It's not as because some of them have had some incredibly sexist moments.
No, it's not dated either.
Yeah.
It's black and white and you can tell these guys are from a different era just because of kind of the back and forths and the way they talk to each other. But it's not.
Also the pipe. The one dude with the very fancy pipe.
But it's not dated in that sense.
The dialogue is fast and quippy and you can still follow the back and forth of it.
Yeah, there's not slang in it, so it's not dated
They're
by
not
slang.
Hey, daddy go.
It's not dated by sexism or shitty old attitudes.
It's still incredibly relevant.
Yeah,
actually.
no, I wouldn't call it a B movie at all.
No.
You could certainly The Giant Claw and certainly Teenagers from Outer Space. This Island Earth, you could kind of put into serious early sci-fi or a little bit of B movie as well because of the mutant at the end.
The end of it, yeah.
But this this is just sci-fi. This is just early 1950s sci-fi.
Yeah.
There's nothing B movie about it as far as I'm concerned.
And it is actually
not that B movies are bad.
It's a surprisingly short film.
It feels longer than it is, but in a good way.
Yeah, I think I paused it to halfway through and was like, oh shit, we're only this far into it, but so much has happened, but it doesn't feel like an overwhelming amount. It's a nice straight story. They find out about this thing, they get sent there.
Yeah,
they go out to find it,
20
they
hour
bring
25.
it back, it melts, chaos ensues. But it doesn't feel messy or convoluted there because you do have him having his moment with Nikki. That's a fun little aside that kind of comes back and forth a couple of times. The rest of it is just, they all follow their orders, they do their thing.
Well, it is.
They fetch the tools. It's the one tool that they need. The one tool,
yes.
The giant rasp.
It is that, first act of, them getting there and finding the alien. And then that second act of debating what to do and what
everything that happens out on the ice sheet is hilarious. When they all spread out around it and it's it looks bigger than that.
I don't think something that size could weigh 200 tons or whatever he says it is.
And he's this isn't any metal I've ever seen before. I've determined that by hitting him with my rasp.
Because then they're what is it? I don't know. Get some filings.
Yeah.
And it's so you just determined that from just poking
at
it?
Yeah. It's the same later on when they get the doctor to listen to the things with the stethoscope and he's it's like the wailing of a hungry child.
Oh yeah, that was a bit
dramatic.
It's just a touch dramatic, yeah. But
look how the ones further in compared to the ones further out. I was you never finished that sentence. It's not very obvious that the ones further out are kind of smaller and shrivelier.
Yeah, and also how obvious of a thing is it that the more sustenance you give something, the more it will thrive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to prove that it's sustained by blood, yes, the things closer to the blood supply are stronger than the things further away from the blood supply. That means blood sustains it, yes. But beyond that, it's not some like massive fucking revelation, Mr. Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah. What did you win a Nobel Prize in anyway?
I don't even know what his field is. Like,
what's he up there studying?
Because he's
tardigrades.
There's others that are professors.
Yeah.
And he's Dr. Carrington. Now, I mean, I know that doesn't
is he
necessarily mean
the
anything.
Facility?
Oh, he's he's the head scientist.
Oh, right.
He is the head scientist, but like I don't know what like there's other guys there who are clearly botanists. There's a guy who's an engineer. There's a guy who like knows all about electricity.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carrington just seems to be
there.
He's just the
admin.
The doctor.
This is the doctor. He's evil.
well, I mean, I suppose, yeah. If he is in charge of it, it doesn't necessarily matter what field he is because he's in charge. He's the administrator guy. But like, yeah, it is odd that we don't know what his field is. We don't expressly know what anybody else's field is, except for the botanist guy because we're told he's a botanist. But yeah, it's a bit odd.
Just a tidge.
I like that they have the whole the magnetic disturbance thing in there early on as well.
Oh yeah, check your magnet, check your head.
When he's first flying
mad, yeah.
Because that then becomes an important plot point the whole way through as to why they can't communicate back with Anchorage.
Radiation issues.
I do like how Pat gets let off the hook for the termite because they're
like
the general's like blow
use
melted
termite.
out the termite. He's like thank fuck.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get the blame for blowing up the first alien ship ever. Thank fuck.
Yeah, because we used thermite to melt it and it blew it up.
Now we just fudge the timeline a little and say yes, we got your orders. Tried to melt it out but blew it up. Sorry, General, we didn't.
How did the alien survive the boom? Because he was like on top of the ship. That makes no sense to me.
I think they fudge it and say that he was trying to get out of the ship as all the ice was melting and
got stuck.
Yeah, because the ship crashes and the ship melts into the ice, like melts the ice, so it sinks. And I think he's supposed to have been trying to get out during that process and got refrozen in
the meltwater
outside the ship. How he doesn't get blown up, I don't know
exactly.
But
because they're like, oh look, he's right there.
I think he is supposed to be outside the ship because he was trying to escape.
Yeah, well, they hack him out with axes.
Yeah,
and then we get the less sexy version of that Stargate episode in the ice where they all get the virus.
Oh yes. Well,
they find the ancient, and she's like, "Oh shit, I made y'all sick."
I think it's
that is a bit of a thing.
Oh well, no, I was going to say. I think if you were a long running sci-fi TV show, you kind of got to do a thing episode because the X-Files have one that's very very similar where it's. I don't know that it's supposed to be alien, but it's some ancient microbe they find that takes over people and makes them homicidal.
V-Wars or whatever that vampire show was with Ian Somerhalder that came out a couple of years back.
Yeah.
That's a virus in the ice.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
That's like ancient vampirism, and it's like, now it's like, it's cool because the ice caps are melting and we're finding viruses.
Yeah,
this has now become like relevant again and everyone's going back to the thing.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Carpenter's always loved it, and constantly, it's one of those films that not just him, but you'll constantly see characters in films watching. Yeah, is this version of it?
Yeah, this is also all three versions are also watched by the skeleton crew of the Arctic base on the day the last plane arrives.
The last supply plane leaves
for the winter.
Winter. They watch all three of these films.
I mean, you kind of gotta.
And they'd probably read the book.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do something.
Any final thoughts, highs, lows?
I appreciate the fact that the reporter is called Scott.
I do love his final speech.
Yeah, I just like to think he is a little, calling him Scott as well as a little tribute to Scott going to the pole.
Yeah, it did that. And
I don't know if the reporter's called Scott in the novel. If he's not, I hope they changed his name.
I don't even know if there's a reporter in the novel.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's fucking it is. It's an excellent film. It's one of those that is important to the genre, I suppose.
Yeah.
But even if it wasn't, it's just a damn good film on its own merits.
I love the base. I want to stay on the base. The base just looks so fun and cool to me. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's because it does look like what the base is.
I think bases are kind of cool.
Yeah. That's what when you think about the great age of exploration.
Of Arctic exploration, yeah.
That's the kind of everyone's in turtlenecks and smoking pipes. And,
well, I mean, that's less than half a century after the Great Age of Antarctic exploration. You know what I mean? When this was filmed, it was 32 years after Shackleton made it back.
Yeah.
You know?
Just about made it back.
We're not that far off the Antarctic age of exploration there. Like,
they should have had, remember I showed you that great, I think he was Danish or German explorer, the massive dude in the big like bear fur coat, and then his wife is on the chaise next to him, looking like so teeny tiny.
That's Amundsen.
Is that Amundsen? That's big Amundsen. Bear of a man. They should have had something like him and some big character like him though, just for like shits and giggles, because that's what you need to be to survive up there.
Yeah, kind of.
Fucking immense.
No, it is. It's a phenomenal film. It is definitely, I think, the best of the sci-fi, the 50 sci-fi we've covered so far. Not to shit on any of the rest of them, like they're all fun, but this is just an excellent film. Sorry for the delay in bringing it to you guys. I hope it was worth the wait. I will always love this film.
No, there is. This film is very, very special, and it is one of those ones if you're gonna watch sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones you should watch.
But we have one more to do before we go back to non-old school sci-fi films. So thank you for rejoining us for The Thing from Another World, and we will be back, I'm going to tentatively say next week.
Yeah, well, we're back into more kind of consistent programming.
Yeah, definitely not as big a gap as the last episode.
Back to regularly scheduled.
Back in a week-ish with The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Yes. Such a great film, such a great book.
Yes, and probably the only Richard Matheson story we will cover.
No, because we're not doing I Am Legend.
We might do I Am Legend someday.
Well, we might do all the iterations of I Am Legend.
That'd be a fun month. There is I Am Legend month.
Because it's like Omega Man.
There's Omega Man, there's The Last Man on Earth, there's
the Will Smith movie.
The Will Smith one.
Which almost got it right.
There's the alternate ending where they do get it right. Yeah, we could maybe do that. But before that, we will do The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Which is, again, Richard Matheson. Just read all his novels.
Yeah, no.
Another one of like...
Oh, The Box is based on one of his as well. That Cameron Diaz one.
Oh, yeah, if you press the box, the button somewhere in the world dies and you get money.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
I think they redid that recently.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's next week.
Yes, that's next week. Sorry for the delay, and thanks for rejoining us, guys. If you want, you can go back and listen to some of our previous episodes, or you can check out our other podcast, Mono Rants the Boys, or you can come and chat with us on Twitter at RantsMono, on Blue Sky at Monorants, on Instagram at Monorants_the_boys, or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast at gmail.com. And we'll chat next week.
Bye.